Welcome back, everyone, to the All Sports Network. It's just me today. Jack is on load management for the for the night. Two great games today, I would say, in my opinion. Honestly, I enjoyed both of them. We're gonna start off with the Lakers and Suns. Great win by the Suns. Honestly, Devin Booker went off. Great. I mean, just an amazing playoff debut by him and DeAndre Ayton. For years now, there have been questions of whether Debo can really, play in the playoffs. If he could really handle it, and I think he's honestly, just from this first game, I think he's proved that yes, he can. And CP3, he didn't have the best stats, but honestly, though, I feel like him just playing, coming back on the court after his injury and really playing, I feel like that really did a lot for their team. Not just for today, but I feel like could probably do a lot more moving forward. But yeah, no, AD, he has to be better. Honestly, you can't play Drummond. I thought, honestly, I think it's been clear, that you can't play Drummond at all. I know there are questions of Marc Gasol and not really him defensively, but just him, getting, moving up the court and whatnot, though, because his speed is a real concern. But honestly, though, I can't deal with I can't even watch Andre Drummond really. He's an elite rebounder, but that's it. I feel like he's just making it harder for AD. I know AD doesn't like playing center, but honestly, when it comes to a team like the Suns, who a team that's just so good, you really should be playing center. Because I mean, honestly though, it's hard seeing that paint so cluttered and seeing how hard it can be for AD to score. Maybe that was the main reason why he was selling for jumpers, or maybe it's because he's got an injury or whatever, so he doesn't want to drive as much. But AD, he just has to be better. He cannot really, he can't really play like this in the playoffs. And I mean they lost tonight, so LeBron. Yeah, he has to look better too. He has to play better. I mean, he's not. He didn't look really that aggressive tonight, and I know this has been talked about a little bit, but yeah, maybe he should be the one guarding Devin Booker for quite a bit of the game, honestly, just because of how things are going, really. Because someone's got to do something, because D Book is a great scorer. But yeah, no, CP3. I feel like he's gonna go off later on in the series. I still have the Lakers winning. I'm pretty sure I predicted 7 on the podcast. I'm still sticking to that just because, AD and LeBron, they hadn't really played that much. They're coming back from injury and whatnot, though. They're not 100%, or at least I don't. And it definitely looks like it. But the Suns are just such a good team, and I feel like the Suns are just such a complete team. I do feel like this Lakers team is a lot better from last year, but it's weird because it's still a lot of the same questions. How will the bigs do? Because last year it's like, how good are these Lakers centers really gonna be? And that's another question for this year too. It's that I fully support Marc Gasol, but I totally get the argument that he's just too slow. And Andre Drummond, I think he's proved he just really can't play alongside AD, and Montrez. He doesn't have the best playoff resume, but you would hope things would change with LeBron and Anthony Davis. So yeah, also shooting, that's another thing too, because this Lakers team, much like last year, really, they have a bunch of guys that are definitely have the ability to make a three, but there's not really a guy that is gonna be consistent, every night. That's something they don't really have, and so whether and they won the title last year. That's definitely they did that, but it's still something to be concerned about. But you know, let's hope everything works out. Moving on to the Grizzlies and Jazz. Yeah, no Donovan Mitchell. Honestly, Dylan Brooks and John Morant, they can play, really well and stuff like that. But honestly, I do believe that if Donovan Mitchell played tonight, they would have won. I'm a big fan of the Jazz. I know they're not the biggest team and all that, but I do think they can make it past the first round. This Grizzlies team, honestly, I feel like is really well coached. I feel like that's something that's not really talked about that much. But I think they're pretty well coached. And also, Kyle Anderson, that guy, his slow-mo moves are strangely just so effective. Or at least that's what it looks like, most of the time. I'm sure he's been blocked many, many times. But Dylan Brooks is, in my opinion, always been known as like that Danny Green type, like great defender, has got great size and all that, but can be pretty inconsistent from three and just an inconsistent scorer in general. But lately, I mean, he's just been on fire. It's actually like insane. I feel like he's been changing. I feel like a lot of people probably think he's a lot better than he actually is. And John Morant too. John Morant, he's been going off lately, and that's been a treat to watch though, because I feel like John Morant will definitely be one of the better point guards going forward, and if he can really get that three working, then he's definitely gonna be like a top 5 point guard in the future. But yeah, no, Jaren Jackson Jr. I hope he steps it up. I think he only had like 5 points, 6 points, something like he said. I don't remember exactly, but he had something low, and he's supposed to be, the second, at least the second best player on this team, honestly. So, hopefully, he's able to step up. But yeah, no, on the Jazz side though, Royce O'Neal, I think he made like 1 3, or not even, I don't know if it was a 3, but I think he just. I know he didn't get more than like 4 points, and so he needs to play better, because that's just unacceptable. Bojan, or whatever, yeah, I think it's Bogdanovich. He went off tonight. He almost had 30. It was insane. He averaged 20, I think, a year ago, and it really went under the radar, but. Yeah, no, he's so underrated though, and he's utilized very well on this Jazz team. Same thing with Joe Ingles. Honestly, I'm one of the few people actually that believe Joe Ingles is the best player that Jazz have coming off their bench. Jordan Clarkson, I mean, he's a good scorer and all that, but I don't really believe he should win Sixth Man of the Year. Sixth Man of the Year really just goes to, hey, who scores the most points off the bench or whatever, because, I mean, I don't really see Jordan Clarkson doing too much in the playoffs, much like, much like Lou Williams and Jamal Crawford never really did anything in the playoffs. But yeah, no, Derek Favors and Rudy Gobert, they played pretty well, honestly, in this game. I think they both finished double doubles. That was pretty cool to watch. So Mike Conley, he did all right though. Well, I mean, pretty good actually for him. But yeah, no. So I think once Donovan Mitchell comes back, I feel like a lot of the shots and stuff these guys take them just become easier and whatnot, because Donovan Mitchell, is arguably their best player. So yeah, I think if you're a Jazz fan, you shouldn't really worry too much. This Grizzlies team, I mean, they're well coached, and they got great defenders, and they look fine offensively, but once Donovan Mitchell comes back and gives you 30, I'm sure 25 or whatever though he'll get you will secure a win. So yeah, tomorrow I think we'll be doing another recap. Because we're trying to do recaps like after every day there are playoff games. Thank you to Toast Deals for sponsoring the video.